BCW fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Dangerous Intentions 2 was a great way for BCW to kick off 2018 and a great show for my return after not being at BCW since September's event. We started with a three-way match as we see Kota, Charisma out the ass, defeat the Sexy Saiyan, Eric Jaden, and the Hasidic Outlaw Matthias Glass in a fun three-way match to open up the show. Next up, Wrestling's Richest Prize, Darius Carter comes out. He's complaining about BCW, that he's going to do things his way and not BCW's way. Eventually, he's interrupted by his scheduled opponent, Vinny Pacifico, and Darius is telling Vinny, get out of the ring, and Vinny ends up nailing Darius and basically setting the stage for their match later on. Back to the action as we see Danny DeMonto defeat Kyle the Beast. Very good matchup there. Then in tag team action, we see representing the Pan-Core Agency, picture perfect Ricky Martinez, and the Bison defeated the Gymnasty Boys, Timmy Lou Retton and White Mike. In women's action, we see Adira defeat Federated's Allie Rex. Our next matchup, we see representing the Pan-Core Agency, Azrael defeat Federated's The Dagger, Mick Drake, thanks to interference by Ricky Martinez and Bison. And as a result, Azrael is now #1 contender to the Heavyweight Championship. Next up, we see Wrestling's Richest Prize, Darius Carter defeat Vinny Pacifico. Not content with the victory, Carter continued the onslaught on Pacifico's leg, which I don't know if it's still not 100% because he was wearing a brace on his leg for this matchup. Then in tag team action, Breakfast Club, CPA, and Francis Kipling Stevens take on the Ugly Ducklings in a match that really stole the show, and the Ugly Ducklings were victorious over the Breakfast Club. Next up, we're set to see Alvin Alvarez take on the Greek god Papa Don. Papa Don was really on the case of ring announcer Shane Fair, having him hold the ropes open for him, take his gear off of him, and then Alvin eventually notices the mother of Ace Andrews in the crowd, and right next to her was Ace Andrews, who took off his Joe Gacy mask, and at that point Papa Don sees the opportunity, put Alvin down with a pile driver, and he pinned him for a 3 count. Andrews then enters the ring, and Andrews takes the microphone. He taps the microphone, and the microphone broke. And Andrews then managed to get hold of Irving Diaz's megaphone. And Andrews mentioned the fact that he and Alvin are going to have a last man standing match at the 2nd anniversary show on Saturday, March 9th. And Andrews wanted Alvin to shake his hand. Alvin stood up instead and flipped Andrews the bird. Next, in another women's match of the evening, Faye Jackson defeated Chris Statlander. And the main event of the evening, the Green Machine, Mike Orlando, took on the Pro Wrestling Maniac, Joe Gacy, for the Heavyweight Championship. These two were having such a great matchup, and they kept, kicking out of so many pinfall attempts, false finishes. But then Azrael hits the ring, attacking both Orlando and Gacy, resulting in the match being a no contest. Ricky Martinez and Bison come out, and then Mick Drake and Allie Rex hit the ring and chase PCA out of there. Then the voice of BCW, Peter Rosado, he got a hold of Irving's megaphone, and he announced that Mike Orlando deserved a fair opportunity for the Heavyweight Championship, and Azrael's #1 contender for the championship. So at the anniversary show, it'll be Joe Gacy versus Azrael versus Mike Orlando for the Heavyweight Championship. And he stated that the loser, I guess the person who gets pinned, will be banned from competing for the championship. And after that announcement was made, Darius Carter was standing by Peter, and I thought he was going to attack him again like he did in the past, but then Carter walked away. Personal notes time. It was great seeing Mike McNicholas, Jeff, Jonah, Stella, Rhea, Bill Parham, Elliot, Jason Bob 87. Did I forget anybody in the crowd that I saw? Okay, but for some weird reason, we didn't have an actual bell at the event. There was just a recorded bell. We have one memorable quote for the evening. "You became his bitch." Tiffany, who got a hold of Irving Diaz's megaphone, she was referring to Shane Fair when he was taking orders from the Greek god Papa Don. And by the way, Tiffany, hopefully you'll get to use Irving's megaphone in the future, unless you want to use mine someday, or any given particular BCW show. And by the way, Irving, I think we need a new picture, considering that my current megaphone I've had since September. Because, that picture of us we had last year as my old megaphone, which unfortunately is sitting at home in retirement. Now, BCW returns on Friday night, March 9th, with their second anniversary show. Already announced, Joe Gacy defends the heavyweight championship against Mike Orlando and Azrael in a three-way match. Ace Andrews takes on Alvin Alvarez in a last man standing match. I don't know what else I'd like to see for this very show. Well, actually, yeah, here's one. I'd like to see Ricky Martinez and Bison against Mick Drake and I don't know who we can get for a partner. Unless it ends up being Ali Rex, but I don't know if that would happen. No. Well, I will say it was great to be back in the Queensboro Elks Lodge after not being there for months, and it was definitely a great show, and can't wait for the second anniversary of BCW on Friday night, March 9th.